Talking to Jordan Cruz here from Country Roads webcast. If you have not yet, be sure and sub him up over there. They are about 50 away from 1,000 subscribers. Country Roads webcast. I'm gonna post the link here one more time in the chat. So if you guys could go over and sub him up, let's get him as close to 1,000 a night as we can, right, guys? Okay. So same scenario. Let's just say it's 3rd and 7, right? And we don't get to that quarterback. We don't. Or our defensive line doesn't get to the quarterback. They hold us. And he goes to make a pass. Our secondary, our defensive backs, covering those receivers. Who do we have that can make that interception? That can make that big play, that pass breakup, interception? Who are you going to watch on defensive back this year more than any other player? I want to know all the defensive backs, but I'm talking about the standout one. Who's going to be the big standout, you think?
Okay, I'm with you, Joey. Because and then the thing is, this is probably the area that a lot of Mountaineer Nation is most concerned about. We need to see improvement from the secondary. Last year, that's the area that left a lot to be desired, particularly on deep balls. And I think if you watch throughout the spring, and I tried to highlight this in our top defensive plays video I did over on our channel, that a lot of these defensive backs that West Virginia has brought in and some of the ones that they are returning, it seems like they've really put a focus on stopping some of those deep balls. Even on plays when they got beat in the spring game, they really did a good job closing that, and it seems like they have better speed at that position. So I'm not going to go into the safeties just yet, but just talking about the cornerbacks that I feel like are going to make a difference for West Virginia this year. The first one that comes to mind for me is Montre Miller, the transfer from Kent State. And I know, like I said, kind of talking a little bit earlier, people have kind of looked down on some of the transfers West Virginia has brought in because they're coming from maybe Group of 5 or Division II, FCS, what have you. Excuse me. And even though that is the case, I think a lot of that is because last season West Virginia brought in transfers from, similar levels, and those didn't pan out well. So maybe that left a bad taste in the mouth of Mountaineer Nation. But what I want to say about Montre Miller is, despite the fact that he is from the Group of 5 and Kent State, this is a player that you can go watch film on him. He's had great games against Power 5 competition in the past. And the stat to him of his that keeps standing out to me is that he's played nearly 900 snaps at this level and has never committed one pass interference penalty. You can look last season, Georgia was a team that really no one hardly came close to Georgia. But one of the teams that gave them their best game actually was Kent State. And you can go watch Montre Miller's film against that Power 5 competition, and he really played great. So I think Montre Miller has a great chance to factor in as one of the starting corners for West Virginia. And then beyond him, I'm looking at some kind of the younger guys to maybe step up this year. Andrew Wilson-Lamp, a guy that came to West Virginia as a wide receiver, but since transferred over to the cornerback position, and he's finally coming into his own there. One of the faster players on the roster. He may be primed for a big season. And then Jacoby Spells, who was the highest rated recruit for West Virginia in last year's recruiting class. We saw him make some big plays last season. The one that comes to mind, of course, the game-sealing interception against Virginia Tech. So those to me are the main names if I'm thinking about the cornerback position. But then just one more as far as transfers are concerned. West Virginia's bringing in Beanie Bishop, Power 5 transfer coming over from Minnesota. Really good PFF numbers, and I think that he's going to have a spot there at the cornerback position. Even if he doesn't factor in as one of the 2 starting corners, I think that he's got a good chance to maybe line up as a slot nickel type cornerback for West Virginia in passing situations. But if you're, gun to my head, making me name one name there, Joey, that really I think is going to be the guy, I really like Montre Miller personally.